We'll put green on there.
Okay, so the first Ohr Beshalach. Okay, staying on the page.
Did we catch anything? Oh yeah, good idea.
Shabbos morning. Yeah, that we learned it on a Shabbos morning. That's alcohol. Anyway, let's take a look. Okay, let's read a little inside. There's always time for commentary, right? Mm-hmm. So, Vayhi b'shalach parei ha'om v'lei nocham alikim derech eretz plishtim. When Pari sent them out, Hashem didn't want them to go through the land of the Plishtim. They went around. So the Alter Rebbe wants to talk a little bit about what Plishtim means and what's B'Shalach Paroi. Yeah. So we'll get to that hopefully. Hine al Yisrael begolus Mitzrayim ksiv. Regarding the role of the Yidden in Mitzrayim, it says in the pasuk Uzrati ali ba'aretz that Hashem planted the Yidden in Mitzrayim. V'amru Razal. The Gemara says Eirei akur meitzi kama kurim. When you plant one kur, you don't plant to yield the same that you put in. Mm-hmm. You get many times that. Let's talk a little bit about this whole process of planting. How is it that through Golus you get this result that we get by planting something in the ground? And in the Mashal, the Alter Rebbe is going to unpack the several aspects. And there are many Ma'amari Hasidus that discuss there's a Koyach HaTzaimeach. The ability for things to grow like infinitely is not related to the seed. It's the soil. The soil contains within it this incredible power. And the seed only channels the power. So we are the seeds. So we channel. But really, the power, the infinite power, that's in the Golus. That's not us. So let's take a look. Hiniksiv Kodesh Yisrael LaHashem Reishis Tvuosai. Even though it's written with the hey at the end, but it's read Tvu Asai Dafka She Yisrael Nikru Tvu As Hashem. We are called Hashem's grain. Who? It will be a great yield. When Hashem did, I just want to say, what does it mean that the Yidden are the Tevuah of Hashem? Hi, hey, how are you? Let's see if we can spin something out.
Last time I come in late.
Something, yeah, last time, I have something. This is what I got tonight.
No,
okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, in other words, you have an apple. In the apple there are seeds. You have Hashem. And then in Hashem there are seeds. And that's the Jewish people.
Oh, wow.
Right? So we are the seeds. What does it do when we plant the seeds? Right? Birtzeis Hashem. When Hashem desires, sheyitosef v'yisrabe gili elikusei ba'elam. That godliness should be revealed in a way of ribui, yisrabe, yitosef. Somehow there should be added. It should multiply. The glory of Hashem should fill the earth. That's what will happen when Mashiach comes. What does he do? He plants the Jewish people. They're the seeds that yield Hashem. Wow. This is the meaning of the pasuk Baruch Hashem Elekei Yisrael, Mina Olam V'ad Olam. Baruch Hashem. How do we draw Hashem into the world? Elekei Yisrael. It's through the Yidden. It's as he is the Elekei Yisrael, Mina Olam V'ad Olam. They reveal him from the Alma, the Eskasia, from the hidden world to the revealed world. Pirush. Shekedei sheyumshach baracha. V'teisefes ribui begili elikusei ma'alma diskasia l'alma disgalia. Who are Yidei Yisrael? He didn't do that. V'lachei nikra Hashem Elekei Yisrael. That's why he's called the God of the Jewish people. Shal Yidei Kain, because that's how. In other words, in this pasuk, the lashon Elekei means the fame, the popularity, the acknowledgement of Hashem as the leader. How does Hashem become Elekei? Through Yisrael. It's Elekei Yisrael. So Al Yedei Kain, it's through the Yidden that Nimtza Ribu Yigili Elekusa Lamato Kamei Lamailo. And now the Alter Rebbe, not he digresses, but he says, what happens Lamaila? Lamaila is revealed, open godliness. Everything is just plain Elikus. He says, Kamei Shem Shalamaila. What can I get you?
Just seltzer, but
Seltzer?
we need to get a cup.
Flavored?
Oh wow. Okay.
A little fresca? So you see, we're a little gashmias. We're going to make ruchnias out of the gashmias.
Yeah.
Ukeshem.
Don't make them jealous.
Ukeshem. Just as lemaila. Ksiv. Utzva hashamayim l'chamishtachavim. That the way things are in Shamayim, they all bow to him. Mipnei shehem b'telim. B'mitzias or mimitzias. Megili ereshemam musig lahem. Their awareness of godliness nullifies them. So that's what's going to happen in this world. What does it say about when Mashiach's coming? Ki ayin ba'ayin yiru. It'll be just as it is now. L'mayla. Uksiv uvo b'maris tzurim u'v'mechilas afar. That people are going to hide in caves and in tunnels. B'pnei pachad Hashem, out of the awesomeness. In awe, kol berech l'chasichra ulefanecha yichru v'yapoilu. They'll prostrate and fall before you.
I never saw this way, but when you think about the whole conflict in the world, that when people are trying to go and to say bad things about Jews, etc., they're really talking bad things about Hashem, because we are Hashem's seeds. And I don't think I take it personal anymore. People want to fight against Hashem. They fight against us. They know they're fighting against Hashem.
Actually, I want to dedicate this shir, the Ilay Nishmas, Mindel Bas Rab Nachum Doiv. Tonight is her yahrzeit. I also want to dedicate this shir, the Ilay Nishmas, my grandfather. Tonight would be his birthday. He would turn 100 today. Yeah. How do the Yidden achieve such greatness? He Esak Hazriya Ba'aretz. It's being, they have to become sown. They have to become sown in the earth. Bisman HaGolus. What does it mean to be sown? To be sown means to become bottle, like we'll soon see. It's a pit, grow a whole tree. I planted you as a twig. And it's a branch of a vine. An entire vine grows out. The Jewish people are compared to a vine. We're going to connect it to the daf. No? Yeah? No, you're not okay? Yeah, the daf, the Gemara brought this week. They had one of the things, one of the Daf and Gemara had about the takonos that Yeshua made when the Yidden got to Eretz Yisrael. One of the takonos is that if a person gets lost in a vineyard, they're allowed to cut their way to get out of the vineyard. So you see, we learned about a vineyard. The Gemara also says one of the takonos of Yeshua was that you're allowed to snip off, you're allowed to prune branches off the trees of other people so you could plant them. Right? In other words, you break off a branch and then you plant it so you'll have another tree. So that's Mishum Yishuv Haaretz, because there'll be many trees. So that's connected to the Torah Ohr of this week. Okay, so in the first ois, what the Alter Rebbe said was an incredible thing, that the Yidden, what are we? We are, the way I said it to Aaron is like, imagine you have a grape, and the grape has seeds. You have Hashem, and Hashem has seeds. That's us. We're the seeds. When you plant Yidden, Hashem grows. Okay? And that's what going into Golus means. To go into Golus means that Yidden are being planted, and ultimately when Mashiach will come, the whole world will be full of Hashem. Why? Because we are planted, we're sown in Golus. Now, in the second paragraph, good evening. Now, in the second paragraph, what does the Alter Rebbe write? He says, well, you know what it means to be planted? The seed has to disintegrate. The Yidden, we have to become bottle.
Wow.
Now, in this bittul, the Alter Rebbe is going to bring later, Mali Kotla Kula, Mali Kotla Palga. You see, a person, I mean, here we are, we're sitting here. We're wearing tzitzis. Maybe it's in the winter, it's nice to wear something wool to keep you warm.
But in the summer?
But every aspect, the fact that you went to the store and you spent money to buy a garment that you could have used to, I don't know, to buy a sushi. Right? You spent your money. And then the fact that you wear it every day, and sometimes it's itchy. Or sometimes it gets caught somewhere and you're uncomfortable. And maybe for some people a whole day they're uncomfortable. So that is literally like giving your life away to Hashem.
Bring shekel for
because Mali Kotla Kula, what difference does it make? In other words, you can't kill somebody halfway. If you were mavatal yourself a little, the point is you were mavatal yourself. We live in a Gashmiistic world. I keep on, every once in a while, I refer back to what Levayev said when he spoke at the Chabad dinner, at the Kinnos banquet. Not Levayev, Babalubo. He said, my whole life, I knew that money you collect. You don't give it away. Like, what's money? Money is something you're trying to get more of.
Right.
He says, I saw what Chabad was doing. He went into a soup kitchen. And he says, the first time in his life, money went the other way. Right? So when we spend money on our Yiddishkeit, we send our kids to a Jewish school instead of to public school. So that's Mesiras Nefesh. That's part of Bittul, that's part of the seed disintegrating. Okay? The seed disintegrating. Let's see. When we sow and we plant, Shemechasin Hagarin, Ta'afara Oretz, soon we're going to put on our thinking caps and we're going to go on a journey. We cover the seed with soil. Umisham, from the soil, Yitzma. Bavur, Shahagarin, Yirkavan Nifsa, the bottle, Lakabe Koyach HaTzeimeach. Why? What happens? The seed, it disappears into the Koyach HaTzeimeach. That's Ba'aretz. The Koyach HaTzeimeach, Hahu. Hu shemegadel umatzmiach b'ribui v'teisefes. Where do things grow from? Not from the seed. It's not, this seed contains in it a tree. No, the Koyach HaTzemeach.
Right.
Kach hu inyan azriyah shel Yisrael. It's the same thing. We are the seed. Okay, I want to take a minute. Basically, there's like this very profound way, a perspective about Tohu and Tikkun here. Really, you learned this mind? Very, very profound understanding. Okay, I want to use just thinking of how to go in. The earth, okay. The Yidden are called alive. Va'atem advekim va'ashem alekeichem chayim. Right? Rishoyim are called Mason. Goyim are called Mason. What is Offer? Offer represents death. What's the meaning? Offer ato, vel offer toshuv. You go back to the Offer is a place of death. In death, in sand, in garbage, Hashem put the most infinite power that we have. Like the best mashal for Ein Sof in this world is in the earth, is Koyach HaTzemeach, the potential for growth. It's unbelievable. Now, in other words, what happened? Hashem took this diamond, Hashem took this power, and He put it in the ground, and He covered it with sand. He covered it with the most worthless, the cheapest, something that you can still get for free, basically. Okay? I mean, mostly. You can still get it for free. Okay? What's a seed?
Just stand outside of 770. No.
A seed, right? A seed that's connected to current events. So you have a connection to Daf Yomi, a connection to current events. A seed, what does a seed do? It guides. Right? A seed focuses, it taps into this infinite koyach, and it says, oh, the koyach HaTzemeach will grow apples. Now think about Tohu and Tikkun. Tikkun is the seed. It has very little power. It can't really grow apples from a seed. It's this tiny little thing. But it has the potential to channel. And what's Tohu? Tohu is force, tremendous force. But it's important to remember that sand is not Tohu. Sand contains in it you understand, right? In other words, to say Esav is Tohu. Esav is not Tohu. Esav is sand. In Esav, the infinite power is present. It's felt. So, in other words, the difference between the seed and the Koyach HaTzemeach is that in the Koyach HaTzemeach, whatever energy it has is direct. What is this? The seed of an apple. The power, the potential for growth that's in sand is hidden in the sand. It's not revealed. The power that Esav has is buried in Esav. We don't see its connection to the Eibishter. Okay, you with me on this idea?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this for a moment from another perspective that Al Rebbe is going to use here for a minute. Hashem is referred to as a Rav Chesed. Rav Chesed means Hashem is kind, believable. He gives, right? Hashem is his kindness is believable. Now let's speak for a moment. I want to use a mashal from Chassidus about a misnagid. Okay, I want to talk about Chesed in the rawest form that we make fun of. We say that's not chesed. Pure chesed without compassion.
Just giving.
Yeah, a person wakes up in the morning. I'm a nice guy. I gotta show somebody that I'm nice. That's the whole thing. It's not about what does that guy need. This is I don't care about what that guy needs. I have to show. In other words, when the rich man makes a wedding,
and he gets food for everyone.
It's about
It's not like he wants to feed his friends.
Everyone's coming. He's going to figure out, oh, you have an allergy. Oh, we're going to wine and dine everybody. There's drambuie at the bar, but no one drinks it. But what do you mean? You got to have Southern comfort. You got to have everything. Why? Because I'm a gvir. I got to deliver the goods. When we say that Hashem is Rav Chesed, listen to this, it's unbelievable the way. Hashem, He's mashpia to everyone. You know, what's the greatest kunz? You know what the greatest kunz is? To be mashpia, life to the dead. But why am I putting it there? Because they need it. They're dead.
It's a waste of resources.
But I'm not limited. The Eibush says Ein Sof. I want to show you, as Ein Sof, I could give to this one, I could give to that one. I could give. Mamish to sand. I could put Kayach Ein Sof in the earth. Where you think there's no life, right there. But Goyim have incredible wealth. They have incredible fame and honor. Insane. Where does it come from? It comes from Rav Chesed. You just said before that Yomusu v'lei v'chachma, that's a place of death. What do they have? Why do they have so much hashpah? Oh, they have so much hashpah because Hashem is showing that He has a lot of chesed. I'm sorry that I'm saying it in such stark terms. It has nothing to do with them. A yid is about form. It's about keli. Am I a keli? Oh, then it's a whole different discussion. If it's about worthiness, if it's about what I did, if I need a resume, if I have to match, suddenly you walk into the passport office and they're like, oh, there's an I that's not dotted. I'm sorry, and you can't come back today. We don't see you twice in the same day. Suddenly they're so particular. That's what happens by a yid. I want to say something else. I was listening to the shir. Someone brought, I don't know where this is from, that part of the extension of this mashal is that, when people plant, when the farmer plants grain, so he walks around and he
Sprinkles.
Throws it.
Right, throws the seeds. Not everything catches. But it's all part of the process of to allow it to grow. Some Yidden that end up in Golos, not everything grows. Some Yidden are lost.
It's like investment.
But it's part of the process of growth. They're also part of the. Even though individually they didn't grow. Let's read a little bit inside this. Okay, so you'll see this is where he gets into Torah. Okay, and then we'll read a little bit of Chesed V'hinu. K'mei b'moshel azriya v'anatiyah hanal shemechasin agarin b'afar ha'aretz. We cover it with soil. Umishom yitzmach. It's there. It's not the seed. Bavur shehagarin nirka v'nifsa l'botol legabe koyach hatzemeach asher ba'aretz. The koyach hatzemeach hahu, that incredible power that's buried in the sand. Hu shemegadlo matzmeach b'ribu v'teisefes. Kacho inyan azriya shal Yisrael. It's the same thing by the Yidden. Ubir inyan zeh hine noidatz nom. Sheklipa kadma lepri. The shell, we know that when, this is also a shear in botany, that when fruits grow, the shell, the peel comes first. The fruit comes later. In other words, there's a wrap,
Right.
and then inside, right, then the fruit grows. Now, what does it mean? Klipa kadma. The source. I'm sorry. The source of what's buried in the shell is tohu. A shell is a shell. Fruit is the gold. It's all about the fruit. It's not about the shell. But still, the shell, buried in the shell, hidden in the shell, is a great power which is able to protect the keli. The pera. Bi'erin yizeh. Klipa kediksiv ve'ela malachem hashamochu beretz edom lifnei malach melech levnei Yisrael. This is where I have to give that mashal for a second. You think the shell is more valuable than the fruit? Elo, the chayes of Hashem in the shell, b'bchinas golus unafila, shenoflu sham b'shviras hakelim ki yadu al yedichin. I just want to share this nakuda. When I learned Tanya as a child, Alter Rebbe says, Perek Zayin, if a person does tshuva, me'ava, then the Avedas become mitzvahs. Remember that? There's two types of tshuva. Tshuva me'yira, you heard such a thing? If a person does ultimate tshuva, their sins become mitzvahs. Can you imagine?
It doesn't say mitzvahs.
Yeah.
Zacchias.
Oh.
It is a chias.
What's Zacchias? What is that?
I mean, the Rebbe Rashab explains there's a misconception there. It's not that it becomes a mitzvah; it becomes a positive act.
No.
It's meritorious.
This is where I'm going. I'm going to the Rebbe Rashab's. Good. No, Zos.
So it's a stepping stone to where you need to get, but it's not that in itself was a mitzvah or considered a mitzvah. It's a gateway.
The Rebbe Rashab's word is this word that he's saying here.
Oh, okay.
It's not that the Avera becomes a mitzvah. It's that the spark of Hashem that was pulled down, right? When a person does an Avera, buried in the Avera is their chayas of their soul.
King's crown.
The chayas of their soul is extracted. The spark is extracted and brought to mitzvah. What's he saying here? It's not that Klippa is greater than Tohu is greater. There's a spark, right? Hine hu nafal shoma, the chayas that's buried in the Klippa, it originates mimadregas geveyas or mailas al yenis meid. L'mayla mebchinas elam haba. Greater than Elam Haba. In other words, any tainug that we're going to have in Gan Eden, it comes from way beyond that. It comes from a place that's unmeasured. Gan Eden is a place where things are measured. Tzaddikim, they earn a chelek. They're there, yelchum achayil al choyil, every day they grow. Like we just learned that in Basilet, one of the huge Shvat Fabrengens, Moshe Rabbeinu was in Gan Eden 3,000 years. He received the Torah. He's still learning Torah, and it's aruch. The Torah is endless. V'Yisrael, Asher nishmeisei mushroshes b'midos hakadoshos. What does midah mean?
Measure.
Where are Yidden rooted? In the midos hakadoshos. So yeah, midos are emotive forces, right? The emotions. There's 7 attributes. But midah also means kav hamidah, it's measured. Ve'iraisa, the nafka mechachma, nikar b'chinas asiyah. Ve'hein, ma'isa mitzvahs, that's the mitzvahs. And like he's going to say soon, Torah is necessarily a place of definition, a place of order, exactly like this. I just want to mention in the Bar Mitzvah Maimer, remember? Bar Mitzvah Maimer? Makes a Shem, you gotta practice it with your son, you gotta refresh. The Maimer says that Torah is Shamayim. Shamayim is Shamayim, which is the Torah of the Chasugig Lichem Shamayim. Remember that?
Not in Yiddish, but yes.
Okay, so Shamayim, in other words, when he drew, I gave you the Torah from where? Shamayim. Because Shamayim, that's Torah. Then we have a apostle, Shlomo Malach says, Hashamayim u'shmei Hashamayim lo yechal kalucha. The heavens can't contain you. So what here the Alter Rebbe is going to explain. Shamayim, what's the thing? Shamayim, what is Shamayim? Shamayim is precision, measured, processed. A person lives like a Jew. And there's always, what the, shkir, it's not that's a Jew. Every part of our life is
Order.
Yeah, the order. It's guided. It's not a free-for-all, hefker, a jungle. There's a darga in Elikus that transcends any, like Im Tzadakta, right? Like, that's what he's saying. What's Toyu? Toyu is higher than, it's beyond all this Seder. Vireini. Detanan, we learned in the Mishnah. Asara deiris me'adam ve'adneach. Asara deiris me'neach ad Avram. Idea, kama erech hapayim lefonav, how patient Hashem is. Shekol ha'deiris hayu machisin uvoyin v'chulu. All the generations, their actions were such that should have angered Hashem. Pirush. Ma shekol akum mekablim shefa v'chayis elam hazeh m'dishasa shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When all the goyim get chayis, kidiksiv v'atam v'chayis kulam, hu mibchinas, you know where it comes from? Erech hapayim v'rav chesed. Because Hashem is infinitely kind. Dahainu, mipnei shehu yizbarach kel yochel. Umechaya umashpia, b'bchinas rav chesed, af b'mokim, shemechasa umastir al kedushas yizbarach. Even a place that says Elikod Elikaya, he has no limits. In other words, that the Ein Sofius expresses itself that he could put chayas in sand. Oh, in the bottom of your closet, mushrooms started growing. Not in my closet, not your closet. V'lachein, that's why Yesh Lahem Oisher Kovid Goyim have. Imagine kids. A guy, they drafted him. He's in his 20s. He's going to play for the major leagues. And they signed him a contract, $100 million. And he's going to be on every TV. They're going to make shirts of him. Right? Well, it's not even a girl, it's a guy. The whole thing doesn't make sense. I'm sorry to say.
And the girls can play lessons for us.
No, I know. That's not what I'm saying. Shaloi al pi cheshbon. It doesn't make any sense. Shaloi al pi cheshbon. U'maisa. It's not based on their actions. V'das. It doesn't make any sense. How could that be? Ki yinikasa mechayis aliki shenochal b'klippas. B'shviris hakeva. They're getting chayis from a place where there's no order. It's total chaos. The fact that the chayas is coming from the Eibishter is completely hidden. It's buried in the sand. The Pasuk says that the Rishoyim, they have no access. They don't see where they're getting their chayas from. She'ein meir etzlam v'yizgalos ki im b'cheshach kofel u'mechupo. Ad she'makchishin b'Hashem. They deny Hashem. Like the Pasuk says, Omar novel b'libay ein elikim, there's no God. V'nirim, they appear to be yesh v'davar b'fnei atzmei, independent entities, melech tzechatog, having a good time. Mashe'ein, you know, the holy words. Mashe'ein in the sitra d'gdusha. Just to remind me that I'm not in school. I don't have to heckle anybody. Just Mashe'ein in the sitra d'gdusha. I'll tell a little joke, but it's after later when we're off camera. Mashe'ein in the sitra. That's I want to make you guys jealous. I don't have any jokes. Mashe'ein in the sitra d'gdusha shehei mekablim chayes megilim b'nei Hashem. In kedusha, it's direct. I know who I'm giving it to. I'm asking you your name. What do you need? V'hu mizgala b'yeridas v'yishtalshalus. It's through Seder HaMadregas. As is Firis HaKdeshes. Those are the measures of Hashem. Shehem mechinas kelim lamshachas gili alakusi yizbarich. V'chein ha'teira yesh lamida. Teira is measured. U'kamesha kosov arucha me'eretz midah. The way it's written, you have to emphasize the hey. There's a dot in the hey. Mapig hey. Meaning, Teira does have a measure. Midasa, sheyesh lo mida, shu midas bechinas klei nasa yizbarich. It's Hashem's vessel. Elo sheyarucha me'eretz v'genu. I just want to mention, I don't know how this fits in, what the idea is, but there's a biur on this mimer. The Mittel Rebbe wrote this Hanach. And the Mittel Rebbe also wrote a biur on this mimer that's printed in the Alter Rebbe's Ma'amorim. And he writes there, I don't understand how I didn't have time to go. He says there are two types of kelim. There are kelim that holds, right, they're mekabel, they hold a revius. And when you have a keli that has a revius, it has multiple functions. In other words, that it could be held, and that it holds the liquid, that it receives, and that it gives, and whatever it is. He says, then you have kelim that don't hold anything, but they perform like a screwdriver. Tools. Right? Tools. Yeah, it's also a kelim. So he explains that in Hashem's toolbox, there's a variation of tools. There are some tools that it's through them that he does things. Not that they contain light. We're always talking about oiris and kelim. It says there are two types of oiris. So it seems that what he's trying to say here, that the Torah is klei umnasa. It's not it's the tool through which Hashem does his, he writes things. A feather is a keli. He brings a mashal there of a feather, right? So Torah is like Hashem's feather. Elo sheyarucha me'eretz v'gemer v'lachem ksiv im b'chukaysai telechu. What is the meaning? Im b'chukaysai telechu. Im b'chukaysai telechu means dear friends. It's not a free-for-all. There's a path. There are rules. This is the way it's supposed to be. That's the meaning. B'chukaysai telechu. You will follow my statutes. So Torah is measured. V'lachein, that's why Yaakov is called Hakoton. It doesn't mean that Yaakov is small. It means that Yaakov allows himself to be guided. Yaakov follows instructions. It's not that he's small. V'lachein nikra Yaakov Hakoton, ki hu Bechinas katnus v'tzimtzum alikusa yizborech. He follows this path of Hashem. Lihis galois al pi midosav. Hashem, tell me what I'm supposed to do, and that's the path I'll take. Al yedei eirat erev ha'mitzvahs. Lias ritzoyno ha'elyin shem yiteruven kachulu yiapsakach. It's not only when it comes to mitzvahs, but even when I have a dispute with a friend. What do I do? Oh, Torah tells me this one's right, that one's right. Then there are the mitzvahs, tzitzis, and tefillin, shegili, alakusei, ritzeni, yizbarech, hu bechinas tzimtzum. Sheharei, from the perspective of Hashem, be'atzmusei mohusei yizbarech, lo shayach klam bechinas rotzen. That's what I was saying before. Toihu, in the highest level of Hashem, it's not shayach to say, oh, you have to do it like this. The nikra ba'al haratzon. It's on this that the pasuk says, "Hashemayim v'shmei Hashemayim lo yechal kalucha pirush afilu k'mei kli teich kli l'kabel chayis v'l'shaseh shel HaGadosh Baruch Hu." To say that, I don't know what he's adding with the kli teich kli. There's no way to receive, even to hold any type of trace of the oir from Kedem HaTzimtzum. However, when it comes to Esau, he gets from Rav Chesed. It falls. You have one marshal that Hasidim used to give, when you come to a wedding, every person gets one portion. You ask for a second portion, they give you Then they take all the leftovers. They give the rats much more than one portion, right? But they dump it. It's not plated, right? So the people who get plated, you get a scoop. You get one dessert. The people who get it dumped, ad la'asad love. But the Mashiach will come. So I want to take a few minutes to speak about a little bit of the Poyel Mamish of this mimer. There's two parts to the two parts. One part is an emotional part. The Alter Rebbe speaks to our heart, and one part he speaks to our actions. Where the Alter Rebbe goes now, he wants to encourage us to live like Jews, to realize that we're uncovering and we're basically through our avodah, that infinite light that's hidden in the sand, we could expose it, we could reveal it, and that light, that power is much greater than us. So it's a transformative power. We're revealing the Likus in the whole world.
In the oil tikkun, we have to still do tikkun oil.
Right? So it's such a chizuk that it's like some people when you experience life a certain way and you realize that hardships make you stronger. So then when you almost appreciate when you're facing a hardship. Because this is going to make me stronger.
Like the people that take the ice bath.
Okay.
They love it because they know it's going to make them stronger, but they probably don't like it at the moment. They just think they like it.
So it's almost like welcoming. The Rebbe would say, very often the Rebbe would bring, the Gemara says that if someone has a contract and someone says it's a forged contract, So then what do you have to do? You have to authenticate it. You have to bring the witnesses. There's a process how you authenticate it. And then when you bring it to Bezdin, Bezdin has a special stamp. And they say this contract was authenticated in Bezdin. That contract is the strongest contract in the world. Right? It's you can't defeat, right? So through someone challenging your contract,
Right.
now you got a contract that's the best contract in the world. Huh?
You did a Natzach.
Yeah. So, right? So we're not. Yeah, maybe we are looking for it, right? Sometimes, they say it's a hard thing to do, but they say in the chinuch world that when you walk into a school, the kids that you feel like you want to walk on eggshells with them and avoid them as much as possible, because they're like a loose cannon. Whenever they're like any interaction, they're going to make trouble. Those are the kids you should give the most attention to and talk to the most and get in their face. I don't mean get in their face, but just right, like be in touch with them a lot. Maybe it's the same with customers. I don't know. It's a different business. So this idea, that's all part of the bittul. That's all part of the zriya. How do I plant myself in the earth? Not by protecting me, by letting go and getting involved and going into the world and doing what I need to do. That's one thing. The second part of the Maimer, the second Nakuda that he speaks about, we also bring about it a little bit on Shabbos. It's part of the Basi Lagani Maimer. He also speaks about it. That the only way to experience joy from Kedusha is to start from the sadness. But Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, Lamed Aleph, basically a person experiences a darkness, they're feeling down, they're feeling low, and they come to a place where they say, wait a second, I'm comprised of two realities. I have a guf and I have a neshama. My guf causes me depression, and my soul causes me joy. Now, which one is more precious to me, my body or my soul? Which one is worth my, you know what I mean? What should I allow to carry me? I should allow my depression about whatever, about money, whatever, or to say, I have children, I have spiritual joys that, so you have to choose. And then speak about the closeness to Hashem and so on. So let's take a look. Let's learn a little bit. Let's read a little bit of Vihine. Omru Razal Golu L'Bavo Shchine Moed. The Yidden went into Golus, the Shechina came with them, Pirush. What does it mean that when we go into Golus, Nitzu Tzelikus, Shebenafsham, Hu B'Bchinas Golus. Here we are, what are we doing here? What are we involved in Elam Hazeh, with Gashmias, with making a living? We're in Golus. And the divine spark, Anitzutz Alikus Shebetechem, Ritzeinoi Vecheshkoi, Ledavik, Ulehistalik, Lemekeri, Ketavaish, he wants to be close to Hashem. Bal Yedeze, by walking around with this little spark in us, Heim Melaktim Gamkin, we gather, Nitzoytze Chayes Alikish, Anofel Shalom V'Shviras Kelim. We gather those sparks. Umaylim Oysom Lekoshram Uladovkam Belekim Chayim. How do we gather them to Hashem? Ayidei Oskoy B'Parnasosa. A person works in Parnasa, meaning you're crawling in the sand. You have a job. B'dvarim hanesudim tachas memshalas klipas neidah. You're busy with klipa. Kamayim Razal ein l'cha kol esav chulu. It's all gashmius. However, V'hu misrachek misheker. At work, he stays honest. And he stays gnevo b'zela. He stays away from stealing, from theft. So our jobs will be threaded with temptation, with challenge, and it's going to be in Gashmias. You can't run away to the base medrash. And then also we're going to take physical things and we're going to do mitzvahs with them. Person, you have a jacket. You wear it for davening. Yeah, the din in Shulchan Aruch, when you daven, you should put on a jacket. So now your jacket is tashmishe mitzvah. Tefillin tzitzis, shatzemer shel tzitzis, v'aklaf shel tefillin, hoyu nesudim tchila, v'achzon shelas hasar, v'hamoishel, hamashpia lam shefa v'chayis lachayis mulakaimom, v'chayis d'shosh ha'lebochnav shver sakelim kanal. What's there in the tzemer? A spark from Toyu. It's like that chai is buried in the sand. It's also elevated. The Mekayim B'Shorshon. Mitzrayim is going to know. Through us being in Mitzrayim, Mitzrayim will know. That's the added, the yield of what was planted in the ground, which was mechusa ba'afara oretz, covered in our job, that lahatzmiach, ulahales maila maila, v'ribui b'teisefes eira, ki yisrin eira ba'menacheshach. That's the great light. Zeu shakosov, this is the meaning of the pasuk, vatikach Rivka as big day Esav. Rivka took Esav's clothing. What's Esav's clothing? All Gashmis, all Elam Hazah. Fatal Beishes Yaakov b'no Hakotan. She took Yaakov and she said, Yaakov, go out there into the world, make a living. Gucci makes things for men also. Yeah? No, so Yaakov, go get some Gucci shoes. Yeah?
Must be.
Yeah. Go out in the world. Go and take all of that. You bring all of it in for mitzvah. Why does it say b'no hakoton? B'no hakoton, the child who's going to live a guided life. Ki koton Yaakov mibchinas katnis v'tzimtzum eiri yizborech li'islamish bin mi doisov. It's measured al pi derech ha'teira kanal. And that's nikra big day Esav. That's b'no gadol. Ke'elam ha'toyu keidim le'elam ha'tikun. Shal yidei zeh niteisef eira v'simcha ki yisrael abba v'chulu. And then he's going to bring what the simcha part and the tshuva, which will continue in Mirz Hashem. I want to thank everyone for joining online. I want to thank everyone for joining in person. Thank you very much for bringing us back